In this crypto update, there's another high-profile crypto influencer that may be facing jail time. Also, there's new bullish forecasts on Bitcoin. And lastly, I want to talk about an altcoin project, one that I've supported over the years, and why I'm getting ready to buy some more. Let's get started. Now, of course, the high-profile crypto influencer I'm talking about is John McAfee, a very eccentric and energetic and controversial figure that got into crypto in 2017. A lot of you guys remember his antics. He went on Twitter and pumped up a lot of altcoins that shouldn't be pumping, and he caused it to happen. And now he may be facing jail time, but not for shilling altcoins, but for tax evasion. So yesterday, this news broke, and John McAfee was arrested in Spain and being extradited back to the US. And that's because the Department of Justice and the SEC both are going after him. Let's start with the SEC. What do they want? Well, they're claiming that the 74-year-old John McAfee and his bodyguard, Jimmy Watson, was fraudulently pumping up ICOs back in 2017 and 2018. He leveraged his fame, and he made more than 23.1 million in US dollars. But the thing is, that's okay as long as you disclose. But that's what he didn't do. He didn't disclose that he received compensation for promoting him. And he wasn't the only one. There was a lot of celebrities that just thought it was a Wild West. I'm going to take some money, promote this project, so what? And they didn't disclose. And unfortunately, John McAfee was probably the biggest one of all. And according to the SEC, he helped pump more than 7 different projects, and he helped those projects raise at least $41 million. But he was paid in return about $23 million, undisclosed compensation. Now, the SEC goes on and claims that after altcoin bubble burst, in February 2018, McAfee still held on to a large number of tokens that were basically worthless. So what he did was hire someone or hire a third party to pump up these projects that he still held tokens with, and he encouraged people to get in on them and buy them while they were being pumped. And while that was happening, guess what? He was dumping. He was dumping what he had. The SEC basically wants to do 2 things. One, they want to fine John McAfee tremendously. And number 2, they want to make sure that he can no longer be an officer of any publicly traded company in the future. So the SEC can't really place any jail time on McAfee. They just want to take what he earned and take it away from him. Now, who can put him in jail is the Department of Justice and the IRS. Because McAfee, very outspoken, he's been on Twitter saying that he does not believe in taxation. He hasn't paid any taxes for a long time. And he was daring the Department of Justice and IRS to come after him because he was on his yacht and he's always floating around. But that's what they're going after, basically tax evasion. So according to the Department of Justice, from 2014 to 2018, despite receiving millions in income from promoting cryptocurrencies, consulting work, speaking engagements, and a right to sell his life story for a documentary, he paid 0 taxes. He didn't even file. He didn't file anything within those years. And also, McAfee has evaded the IRS by concealing assets, including a property, a vehicle, a yacht, in the name of others. So basically, McAfee was trying to say that he didn't get the money. Other people did. But they linked it back to him. And as for jail time, if convicted, McAfee faces a maximum sentence of 5 years for each count of tax evasion, and a maximum sentence of 1 year with each count of willful failure to file tax returns. So if he's 2014 to 2018, that's 4 years. So that's 1 year each. That could be 4 years. And also 5 years for every count of tax evasion, which could be a lot. Of course, John McAfee isn't the only high-profile crypto influencer under attack right now that may be facing jail time. Just last week, Arthur Hayes and his buddies at BitMEX, they all been indicted for money laundering, and some of them have been picked up and arrested. they could be facing some serious jail time. Next, let's move on to some positive forecasts for Bitcoin. Mike McGlone, who is part of Bloomberg, he tweeted out this chart, and I think this sums up Bitcoin pretty nicely. First, the white line is the number of funds that Grayscale holds, right? Grayscale Investments, they've been buying up Bitcoin like crazy, and it does show that in 2017, they weren't buying so much. 2018 started accelerating buying. 2019 really started accelerating, and look at 2020, right? So the number of funds or number of Bitcoin in their Bitcoin trust is just skyrocketing. They are buying up as much Bitcoin as they can right now to offer in their trust, right? So that's number one. Number two, let's look at the orange line. This is the active addresses with the 30-day average, okay? And you can see that 2017, when everything was going to the moon, of course, the number of active addresses shot up, came right back down, right, when the bubble burst. And then you can see from 2018 to 2019, started going up. But look at 2020, number of addresses really started coming up. It's not as high as back in 2017, but it's getting up there, right? According to Mike, Bitcoin will rise due to these indicators. He's giving a conservative estimate of $100,000 by 2025, but many think it'll come much sooner than that, probably in 2022. So these two indicators does show the positive outlook for Bitcoin. Grayscale continues to buy up more, and more people are using Bitcoin. So these are very good metrics. And that's not all. Willy Woo last week tweeted this out, the number of new participants coming into BTC versus BTC price. And you can see that usually the number of participants coming in comes up first, then the price follows. And right now, you're seeing that. This kind of matches on Mike's chart in terms of the number of active addresses. This shows the same thing. Even though the price is going sideways, the number of people entering is increasing, right? So when you have more and more demand, but supply continues to decrease, that's going to lead to a price increase, right? That's just how things work. And if you look at the miners, look at the total hash rate. Since 2018, it's just been going up and up and up. So the miners that are supporting the network continue to add more miners, ASIC miners, and continue to power the network and continue to just hoard as much Bitcoin as they can, kind of like Grayscale. This is kind of like a war, a cold war among the miners and also the investors and the average Joes. Everyone is trying to get a piece of the pie, trying to get a bigger piece of the pie because they're all anticipating that pie is going to be worth a lot in the future. Lastly, I want to talk about the one altcoin project that I've supported for a long time that I'm getting ready to buy. And this should come as no surprise, is VeChain. This is the last big update for VeChain. VeChain Foundation has been the first blockchain-based entity to join the China Animal Health and Food Safety Alliance. Basically, the CAFA tracks all foods that's moving within China for animals and for humans. And basically, VeChain is going to help come up with a traceability system to make sure that foods are not tampered with and everything is going to the right place. And there's some big companies that's involved, right? So, for example, McDonald's is part of this alliance. So VeChain is they're a powerhouse in China. So if you look at the number of partnerships that VeChain has made, especially within China, it's just mind-boggling. They are involved with everything and every big company. So China Unicom, one of the biggest telecom providers in China and one of the biggest in the world. Also, People's Insurance Company of China, again, one of the biggest insurance companies in the world, not just China. And you have so many others. Walmart of China, right? Shanghai Gas, and the list goes on and on. Higher, the biggest appliance maker in the world, right? So VeChain is so involved, and they have so many partnerships that is really mind-boggling. And there's still people that hate VeChain. They still don't trust them or don't believe in them. But this company is going to be at the forefront of blockchain and dApps. So the reason why I'm looking at them now is because they have fallen. Their price has fallen quite a bit within the last few weeks. So since they topped out around August 9th, they've been showing some weakness. And they're getting to a point where I believe is going to be a hard support for them. And that's right around here. That's right around basically where it is now, slightly lower, right? I believe VeChain is a great pickup for a long haul. I think they're going to do amazing things. But short term, I'm still looking at good buying opportunities, good support levels. And I believe this is going to be a good support level where basically where they are now. It might go a little bit lower. But if you're also looking at the indicators like the 4-hour, the stochastic RSI is nearing bottom. RSI crossed below 30. Usually that's a turning point when you're looking at a short-term basis. And if you look at the day, if you look at a day indicator, same thing. RSI is nearing 30. Stochastic is nearing bottom around 4. And you can see the green line is acting like a support at this point, right? So I do believe this is a good pickup point for VeChain, which is why I'm going to pick up a little more at this point. Now, of course, VeChain isn't the only project that has been showing weakness within the last few weeks, but VeChain is definitely one of the best out there. But there's many other projects that also I think are worth picking up at this point. I'm going to be sharing more information about who they are as the week continues on. And also I'm going to be sharing an exclusive newsletter with my Patreon members that I will be releasing in the near future. Bitcoin is still at 10,700, which is okay. It's still consolidating, going sideways, and that's okay because usually with periods like this, like what we saw before, and usually when the sideways movement is done, that's when the next leg up is coming. And plus all the bullish forecasts that I've showed today, I believe there is no worry. Bitcoin is going to go much higher in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.